The Conquest of Sindh, a tale of treaties, tensions, and treachery in the early 19th century. The British East India Company turned its attention westward to the region of Sindh, where they had long enjoyed modest trade privileges granted by a Mughal farman in 1630. These privileges had been limited but symbolic access to ports, a foot in the door. But before the British, it was the Kallara chiefs who ruled Sindh. In 1758, Ghulam Shah, a Kallara prince, allowed the English to set up a factory at Thatta, even excluding other Europeans. However, this favor didn't last long. By 1775, a change in leadership forced the English out. Then came the Talpura Amirs, rising from the rugged hills. The Talpurs, a Baluch tribe descended upon the plains, hardy, warlike, and ambitious. They overthrew the Kallaras under the leadership of Mir Fath Ali Khan in 1783. The Durrani monarch ratified their claim, and thus began Talpur rule in Sindh, dividing the land among themselves. The four brothers known as the Char Yar extended their influence from Amar Khet to Karachi. Meanwhile, the British anxiously watched the growing European entanglements in India. Rumors swirled. Napoleon and Tipu Sultan were conspiring. Could the French invade through Sindh? In 1800, Lord Wellesley sent agents to revive British presence. But the Emirs, suspicious and guided by anti-British factions, expelled the company's agent. The insult was quietly endured. For now, in 1807, geopolitics took a sharp turn. Napoleon's alliance with Russia alarmed Britain. Lord Minto dispatched envoys across the subcontinent, Elphinstone to Kabul, Metcalfe to Lahore, and Nicholas Smith to Sindh. Smith brokered the first Anglo-Sindh treaty, a pact of eternal friendship. It banned the French, welcomed diplomatic, exchanged and secured a foothold for the British. Years passed. In 1832, under Lord Bentinck, Colonel Pottinger signed another treaty with the Emirs. This time, the Indus was opened to English traders, with strict limits: no warships, no settlements. The Emirs believed they had preserved their sovereignty, but the British had other plans. In 1836, Lord Auckland viewed Sindh not as a partner, but as a strategic corridor to Afghanistan. The rising Russian threat loomed large. Ranjit Singh's capture of Rojan provided the pretext. A new treaty was forced upon the Emirs. In 1830, 8 British troops were to be stationed in Sindh, at the Emir's expense. A British resident, guarded by soldiers, would have freedom of movement. Sindh had become a protectorate. Then came the Tripartite Treaty of 1838, linking Shah Shuja, Ranjit Singh, and the company. It paved the way for British forces to enter Afghanistan through Sindh without Emirs' true consent. In 1839, the final blow was delivered. The Emirs were coerced into signing a subsidiary alliance. British troops were stationed in Shikarpur and Bukhar, and the Emirs had to pay 3 lakh annually. Any foreign negotiation without British approval was banned. The company now controlled Sindh's rivers, trade routes, and politics, but resentment brewed. The First Anglo-Afghan War, 1839–42, ravaged British prestige. The Emirs, forced to support a campaign they never agreed with, charged with treachery. They were asked to cede more territory, stop minting their own coins, and supply fuel to British steamers. When they resisted, war broke out. In 1843, General Charles Napier crushed the Talpur forces. The Emirs were exiled, their thrones shattered. Sindh was annexed, and Napier became its first British governor. The Conquest of Sindh, like many episodes in the company's expansion, was not built on righteousness, but on manipulation, fear, and force. As the historian Elphinstone scathingly remarked, coming from Afghanistan, it put one in mind of a bully who has been knocked in the street and went home to beat his wife in revenge.